Meanwhile, the DNC is they're going after their donor list, trying to find an Arab name on one of the checks. That's what it's all over the papers today. This is what they're after. Your thoughts, Peggy? Because I don't know who you're going to vote for, by the way. I'm absolutely convinced I don't know who you're going to vote for. I can't tell.
Thinking it through. It has been a long and winding year. It's a long and winding road.
The best reason to get the Wall Street Journal on Saturday morning is Peggy.
It is.
Isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
And you're talking to one of the great columnists of our time.
Yeah,
she's
I know
my favorite columnist. So.
Guys, what you just showed, Palin and the other fellow, that's the base talking to the base. That's fine. It's a little bit like Bob Dole in 1976 going out and talking about Democrat wars. Do you remember that? They sent Bob Dole out as the pit bull.
76.
Didn't I say 76?
Yeah, it's so long ago.
I know. I think is that right?
I know.
Nobody will know if we're wrong on that.
Do you know
one.
what's like people talking about Coolidge when we first get into politics?
Yeah, I know.
What are they talking about? They're talking about Coolidge, I think.
Here's the thing. It's not that it's irrelevant. It's that it's not big enough for the moment. And the American people, I feel, know this. They want big. They're in an economic crisis that they think may go into a Great Depression. These guys really ought to be talking about it.
Right about it. Let me ask you this. When we were studying in Catholic school, did you go to Catholic school, Gene?
I did not.
Okay, Catholic school, they teach you scholastic philosophy. The difference between an essential aspect of a situation and an accidental aspect. Is this important to the whole question of who you marry, what business deals do you cut, or whatever? What do you do in life, your moral decisions? Or is it accidental, right? The flavor of the ice cream is not that important. It's the essential thing you do. Is this question of whether he went to some meetings back in the 90s where there were some other people there from Chicago organizing business, and one of the guys there is the guy who teaches at school there and had this terrible history behind him. Is that essential to this question, or is it not? Is it accidental or essential? Because I think that's the key here. Should we be talking about Bill Ayers tomorrow night in Nashville?
This is what I think when I hear it on the radio as I drive here. It feels old to me. Failed congressional oversight feels new and pertinent to me. You know what happened?
Well, that's pertinent. The Congress has not been watching these agencies.
Both parties, they have dirty hands. Both parties, they both have a lot to talk about. They have a lot to explain. We're taking notes. They got a lot to talk about. They got a lot to explain. It's both parties. You know what? The American people aren't going to quite believe anybody's going to help them out of this economic mess unless somebody's honest about the cause
down
of this.
on the Dow today.
I was wondering who's been lining the store.
The numbers on their 401ks and
yes, that's it. The 401ks. That's what I'm hearing. Everybody.
The election turned on who the guy hung around with 20-some years ago. I tell you, I always try to look forward, then look backwards. What were the causes of the war? What turned the election? What were the big issues that turned the election? And then look back and say, that's a basis for judging. A big historic reason. You only get one vote.
But with only 30 days out, what does it say that this is the topic? It says something weird.
Well, it ain't big, but it's a great book.
They're avoiding. It's almost as if history will look back and say, look at the point we were at, and this is what they were
I'm holding your book up, Peggy Noonan,
make them talk about
Patriotic Grace. I want to thank you, Peggy Noonan. Thank you, Gene Robinson. You're a great writer. One of the best.